against, you know, but the thing is, if it comes to that point, it's something that would have to really be seen to and discussed to see if that would be the right avenue. And I really think, not being on the town board, I haven't run across a lot of this yet, so it would be in a future plan to see what avenue would have to be taken.
Thank you. Mr. Friedel.
As far as publicly funding, I realize that we have to have some type of public funding, but I will not support massive changes as HUD and RUPCO are proposing for other towns, because I don't feel it's good to the town. I know we can't discriminate, but if we can stop it in any way, I think so. It's trying to be, with the master plan, it's trying to be put into the master plan, and I think we should not put it in because it sets precedence for that, and it should not be in there. It's part of Ulster County's trying to put us in there. We should be having home rule, because large public housing has no place in the town of Olive. We don't have sewers, we don't have municipal water, which if we were to put in a large project, we would have to do that, and we can't afford it, and the town can't afford it. If you bring in public housing, it's just on a large scale, like they're doing down in Westchester, where HUD is telling Westchester, and there's a lawsuit on it because it's in their master plan. They have to do it, and they're fighting them on that. So I don't think it's a good idea. I realize that we have to have some type of funding, and it's not to be afraid of, but we also have to manage how much we're doing. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Ray.
I think we have to support it, but it is not in our zoning right now. So things have to be changed. And we probably could support it on a low amount of buildings. It's something that the government's pushing, and something we can't just pass over.
Thank you. Ms. Johansson?
Town of Olive is not set up structurally to handle that kind of building. While we all would love to offer that kind of housing to everyone, there's places, as Mr. Lightfield indicated, that are better suited to that than Town of Olive. Right now, our senior citizens, we have a 20-unit complex that basically they rely on Ulster County Rural Transportation to come in once a week and take them into Kingston. There isn't any place to walk to. There isn't any shops and places for them to go here. So low income is difficult here. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the sewers, the water. And no, I just would not be for it for that reason. Should it be in places? Yes, it should. I just don't think it should be here.
Thank you. This is for the town board, town council. And what is being done to expand, actually I think we can all answer this. What is being done to expand cable service in Olive? Mr. Ray, you know first, but
yes,
okay. Ms. Winnie.
Okay, from what I understand, some time ago, the last one that was really working on it was Linda Burkhart, that's got it for over in Brown Station and so forth. But coming to the town boards each month, I noticed there hasn't been anything really mentioned about it for the future. And I do know there is some areas that still needs cable. And that is something I would really enforce and try to work on it myself.
Thank you. Mr. Friedel.
As far as cable, Time Warner, I'm the liaison with Time Warner at this time. Since I've been in office for the past 4 years, I was able to get cable onto Drybrook and also onto Mountain Road and that surrounding area in the last 4 years. I'm working on Leanne Way and Browns Road over in Sampsonville, also some areas on Sampsonville Road. We had a letter campaign. I've been working with the Joyce Barons over there, and we have sent letters to Time Warner, and they came back with a flat no, that we don't have to do it because the current contract that was signed before I was on the town board with Time Warner, they say they don't have to do it by the contract, so they said no. I also have been in contact with a company called IITS, which is based out of, I think, out of Kingston, or they moved, so I'm not sure exactly where they are. They're in that area, who is working on a different plan of getting at least high-speed and telephone service over in that area. And there's a meeting next Wednesday about it. That's pretty much it.
Mr. Ray?
I think we should push real heavily on this. There's a lot of people in town that do not have the service. And when we started with the contract many years ago, it was suggested that the whole town be covered, but it isn't. So the only thing we have to do is keep pushing on it.
Ms. Johansson?
No.
This is the
I'm
cable.
sorry. I'm thinking of something else. Yes, I think we need to push for more cable. I think a lot of people have kind of surpassed cable because it isn't available to them, so they've gone with satellite, they've gone with other means to get connected, if you will. But for those who want it, I think it should be available to them, and I don't agree that cable companies should pick and choose their sweet spots and leave the rest of the town hanging, so to speak. So we should do everything we can to get it everywhere.
Thank you. Mr. Whitehead?
As far as cable vision is concerned and the contract does not say that they can just say no. The contract says that they have to service 100% of the town. The problem is, in the contract and in the agreement, I believe it's 23 prescribers per mile as a number, but I think it's 23, but I don't hold me to it. And whatever that number is, if you're at the end of that mile and there's only 2 people, they have to pay what the 23 people would pay to get it down there. So it's not a flat no, but financially it's a burden that many people wouldn't want to spend or could spend. So I agree in a way, it's impractical to do it, but to say that it's a no, Brenda Parks wouldn't say no. I know that for a fact, dealt with her for years. What she will say is that we'll do a survey, we'll find out who wants it in that particular area, and then we'll give you a bill. Quite frankly, and I will admit, which is, well, not my doing altogether, is that they come up with a bill. Like I just said, you just can't afford it. But that's something we can work on. I believe that contract comes due here in another year or 2. And that's something we have to take. Gotta remember when we did it, there was only one cable company. And they're not lining up to come into the town hall either. So we do have more than we had, but it's still not enough.
Thank you. What projects would you like to accomplish in your first term, or if returning, what project are you most proud of? And we're going to start with Ms. Winnie.
Could you read that again,
Yep.
please?
What projects would you like to accomplish in your first term? Or if returning, what project are you most proud of?
Well, I'm not returning. I'm hoping to start. I tell you, that's really a hard answer because I really need to get involved with the town board itself to see what needs